Hey guys, Ivan here at ivanmana.com. In this video, I want to show you how to create a landing page from scratch with Thrive themes. Now, make sure that you already installed WordPress and Thrive themes. Check out my previous videos if you haven't done that yet. But I want to build out a page with you today that has roughly a 53% conversion rate. So we built out this page last time using Unbounce, and this is the sort of page we will be building out again right now in Thrive themes. So our website right now looks like this. Let's suppose we want to add a landing page with an email submit. So we're going to head over to WordPress, click on Add New when you go to Pages. So Pages, Add New, and we're going to create a page here. So we're going to give it a second to load. Now, obviously, we can write everything here, but the reason for Thrive themes is to make things easier. So we're going to click on Launch Thrive Architect, and we're going to build out a page using Thrive themes. So give it a second to load, and we should see some options pop up. So the first option is a normal page, which means we're going to be drag and dropping content within the constraints of the theme that we selected. Again, check out the previous video to see how to create the theme and all that good stuff. The blank page with header and footer, which means we will be creating a blank page using the header and footer that we selected from the theme. We have a completely blank page, and we can use a pre-built landing page, which will have pretty much everything for you set up, and we just go in and we make changes. Now, this video isn't on how to create a landing page in 1 minute, because otherwise you'd select this page and you would just make the changes. Easy. We're going to start completely from scratch so that you can get an idea as to how to use the whole tool builder. So that if you do decide to use a pre-built page, it's going to be easy for you to do that. So we're going to select this, and we're going to create a page completely from scratch that looks like this. So give it a second to load. Okay. So here we are. Let's get started. So we will drag and drop elements by clicking here, Add Element, and then we're going to make the changes on the left-hand side. So we can add more blocks by dragging and dropping here. And in this case, I wasn't able to find a blank block, so we can select anything like this one, and then we just have to go in and delete the parts. So here we have 2 blocks. We're just going to go in and delete this option here and this one here, and now we can, again, add everything from scratch. Now, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to duplicate this so we have several sections, because I know we will need at least 4 or 5 maybe. Okay, so in the first part here, let's start off by adding our logo on the left-hand side. So that means we need an image. So I'm going to go ahead and add the plus sign here. We're going to select image. Actually, we can select logo here. Either one is fine. And I'm going to drag it, as you can see here, inside the block, above the block, below the block. I'm going to drag it inside the block, the block right here. Okay, now there's too much space here, but first let's add the logo. So I'm going to select the logo, and I'm going to add new logo variation right here. Okay, so these are the logo options. So you have these options here. You have the layout and position, which we will use to adjust it. We have the logo options. Now, this is a mouthful. I probably won't be able to teach you every single little option here, so just play around with it, but you will get an idea of at least some of the main ones, okay? So if you go to logo options, let's click on Add New Logo Variation. And let's add some images. So I don't have anything. I'm going to click on Select 5. I'm going to drag that, give it a second to load. Then I'm going to select it, click on Insert into Post. And now my logo was added successfully. Let's give it a second. So we're going to select. So now that we've added this, we can select this logo, and boom, right? It's right there. But this might seem a bit too big. So we can adjust the size right here. Maybe make it like that. Maybe like this, right? Let's see how big this is. Yeah, so that's pretty tiny. So maybe let's make it 100. Does that look good? Something like that. Maybe 110. Okay, so now that looks good. There's too much space, as you can see here at the top and bottom. So we're going to select this grid. We can adjust the height here. So we can make it, a bit, we can make it bigger. We can make it smaller. In this case, we'll just leave it back to 40. And instead, let's head over to layout and position. And as you can see here, there are, the padding here is set to 60. So we're going to drag this a bit down. So this inside block, that's the padding. And the outside is the margin. So the padding is the space between this actual element that you have inside and this kind of big section here. Okay, that's padding. Margin is the distance between this entire element and the next element. Okay, so if we increase this margin, as you can see here, it's increasing the space between these two. Okay, don't worry if you don't get everything right now. It'll take a little bit of time to get used to. It has a slightly higher learning curve than Unbounce or ClickFunnels. Check out those playlists to see how to build out landing pages with them. But that's basically what this is. You'll get used to it. So we're going to select it and just put 0 here manually. We're going to select that. Let's put 0 here. Okay, so that's a bit too uptight. I don't want that. Let's do 10 maybe. That looks good. And let's do maybe 10 here. Okay. Okay, so that doesn't look good. It's a bit too much space there. Let's make it 0. And I think that looks good. Okay, so that looks about right. Now we can go here and we can adjust, as you can see, the padding here, right? So we can add more space, moving it to the left or right. So if we make this 100, for example, it's going to be a bit more to the right there. So let's just see what that is. So I think 40 looked fine, so we'll keep it at that. Okay, so that's it for this first part. Now let's go ahead and let's add this headline, right? That's the next thing we're going to do. Let's head over here. Sorry, that's our page. Let's maybe get out of that. Let's put these two together. So now we're going to head back here and let's add the text. We're going to drag it inside the block. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to simply copy this to make things easier. Let's copy it. Let's go back here, select that, and let's paste it. Now we can adjust things over here or over here. If we head over to main options, we can change all these things here. Everything you change here, or most of the things when it comes to styling, will affect only the specific device. So for example, mobile versus tablet versus desktop. I'm going to get into that in the mobile optimization video, so don't worry about it for now. But for now, let's just work on perfecting this desktop version at least, okay? So we need to increase this size here, so we can change the size right over here. Now, I don't remember what size this is. Maybe 30. 28. That looks good. Okay, I like that. Now notice how this is more so centered and this one is kind of stretched out. So what we can do is we can head over to layout and position and we can increase the padding here, right? So we're gonna drag it and add it but there. Now we can either do this. Generally for mobile optimization purposes, I wouldn't suggest using these paddings. I would suggest instead using the width, okay, these two. I would suggest that for mobile optimized performance, I guess. So what we can do is we can instead reduce the width here, so we can drag it down a bit, and we're gonna center this, okay, so align center. Let's drag it down a bit. Let's try to make it, and by the way, we should center the text like that. But let's see how we have it here. So here, so I'm gonna do a little trick here just to see the size. I'm gonna inspect element here and I'm gonna click here and it says 36 open sans, okay? So let's head back over here. Let's make this 36. I'm gonna go over here. So it was 36, actually. Okay, so that's good. Now the only thing is there's a bit too much line space. So that looks good, I think. I think that looks pretty just like that. But there's too much line height, so let's reduce that a little bit. So line height is the space between the lines, right? So that looks pretty much the same. So let's highlight that and let's change the color because it's grayish right now. I'm gonna select that. I'm gonna unlock that color here, make it black, click on apply. And now that looks about right. Okay, so that looks exactly the same. Let's add another text here. So we're gonna grab that. By the way, the font actually copied and ended up being the same. But we can head over to font and we can, adjust our font here. So we can use Google Fonts and we can select the font. I'm gonna leave it as is right now, but that's how you do it, right? Super simple. Just select the font. So next we're gonna wanna copy this. Let's head over here. We're gonna add another element, so it's gonna be text again. And we're gonna drag it below the text here. And we're gonna paste it. We're gonna remove all that extra spacing. We don't need that. There is a little extra space there at the bottom, but that's okay. So once again, we're gonna center this. That looks pretty good. We don't have to do anything else really. I think that's enough, right? So that looks good enough as is, I think. So let's add another element now. Let's add, oops, we didn't drag. So now let's add the actual opt-in form, right? So we're gonna scroll down a little bit and it's gonna be called lead generation. So let's go ahead and drag that just right over here. And now we can select from a template. Pick any one you want. You can change it later on. So if you go to opt-in forms, select your template here. You can add fields as well. So notice how it says email and name. You can add more and you can change the words there. You know, that's fine. I'm going to select this one. I do like how this looks. That looks fine to me. Let's maybe make the color. So I'm going to use this ColorZilla Chrome extension. I'm going to select this color. Okay, I'm going to copy that color. Now let's go to this button and we want to change the button color. I'm going to go here. I'm going to unlock that. Then I'm going to paste this color here. I'm going to click on apply and that looks about right. So I don't like how it says your name and email. I don't like that. So I'm going to select this here, how it says your name. We're going to make it required. We're going to show label and we're going to use the placeholder. We're going to say enter your name. Let's say enter, yeah, your name here. We'll click on apply. Okay, so sorry. So we don't want to show label. Let's do that. And then it just says that. Let's head over and do this here. So this is required. That's good. And let's say enter your email here, ... Okay, make it clear to people what they have to do. That looks good. We would enter our URL redirect here. So in this case, I'm suggesting like a video, but in this case, you know, we could redirect them to my website, for example, yvonnemana.com or amarketingessentials.com as it was previously. They are both the same thing. Send form values. Okay, so that looks pretty good. Let me see if I'm missing anything. So let's say email me the video, right? We don't want it to say that. So if we want to edit form elements, we're going to select this. Oh, and by the way, you're going to get this little pop-up to remind you to save your work. That's a good reminder. So just when you get that, click save or hit it as often as you want to. So let's click here. You can edit form elements. And now you can select the specific elements you want to edit, like this thing specifically, you know, this button specifically. We can also choose to, you know, center it, make it full, align it left, right. So just that button, okay? We can choose the icon side to be on the left or the right. We can choose the size and alignment right here. So we do want to make it a little bit bigger. I think it's really small. And then we want to change the text. So we're going to head over to, we're going to select this and we'll just make the change right there. So we'll say email me. Do we want it? Yeah, so for this one, we're going to select the typography. So this transform, we can deselect that and it'll just, oops, email me the video, I think, right? That's what it says. Yeah. And then here we can change the font. So in this case, I really don't like that font. So let's see, which font was this one? Let me see which font this is. We're going to inspect. It looks like it's Arial. I don't know if it's actually Arial, but let's see if we can find Arial here. No, so we might have to actually download Arial. That's okay. Let's see if Times, no. Let's see if Sans. Okay, so I don't know. Let's just see what this looks like. Okay, so that's fine. Let me see what char set. Yeah, so you can play around with all of these, right? You can change the boldness, make it more bold, make it less bold. We can choose to show only recommended fonts. Just play around with it. Lots of options. Let me see what font this is real quick, and then we'll, sorry, let me hit done. Let me see what font that is. That just looks like it's inherited font. Okay, so that's like the default font from wherever we pulled it up from. So that's fine. Yeah, so we can't copy that. So that's fine. We'll just leave it at that. Okay, so I just ended up clicking done and then going back to it and clicking no typography, and that seemed to work. So that's fine. So we're gonna leave it at that. That looks good, I think. Let's see. We could increase the padding here a little bit so that, you know, when we head over to mobile optimization parts, it's not gonna kind of go to all the way to the sides. So we're gonna select here layout and position and maybe increase this to 10 or so. You know, give it a little space there. And now let's say we want to add an arrow. By the way, let's see if we want to adjust the height as well. It doesn't go less than 0 in this case. As you can see, it's pretty uptight there. But if you want to generally increase the height, you know, just drag that as well. So we're just going to leave that as that. We're going to close out of this. So let's add the little arrow now. So let me see if we can just save this image. I'm going to save that image. And then let's head over here. And now we're going to add the image again here. So this case, we're going to scroll back up top. Let's select image. Let's move it to the right. We're going to upload, select add the button, click insert into post, and now we have the button here. Now, as you can see, this looks really awkward, okay? So we want to move this a bit, so we're going to just drag that over, move it here. Now, if we keep dragging it, the arrow becomes smaller, so we do want to kind of play around with this, okay? So what we want to do is increase this padding here on the right, maybe make it 100. Sorry, not the padding. Let's increase the margin here. So if we make it 100, as you can see, it moves a bit more, and the more we move it, the more it moves to the right. Now, I wouldn't necessarily suggest doing this all the time, just because for mobile and tablet, it might not look as good, but we're gonna get into that, and I'll show you some other shortcuts. So let's click on 250. So that looks okay. Let's maybe move this a little bit up as well. 0, let's move that up, and let's put that 0. Okay, so make it a bit less space. And now we want to move this arrow, so what we're going to do is select this arrow, and we're going to move the margins here a bit more. So we can make this 100 or so. And that looks about right. Now, the other thing that I noticed is that these buttons are, like, the fields look a bit too big. So these ones, they look much smaller. So if you want to decrease the size, you would have to, again, click on main options, click on edit form elements, and select the form field you want to edit. Now, it does change both of them at the same time, okay? So if we go to layout and position, as you can see, here's the padding. So that's the space between each of these specific elements. So if we decrease this to, say, 15, and this to 15, it's going to change both of them, okay? Now, both of them look smaller, which is cool. We don't want to go too much, like 10 and 10. That looks a bit too small, but it's up to you, okay? So maybe 12 is good. And then this looks a bit too big as well, so we probably want to decrease the size of this button. So we're going to select the button, and let's decrease the margin here. So we're going to make it maybe 10 between the button and this next element here. Can decrease the width. Okay, no, so the width is fine. Let's remove that. Sorry. Now if we change this to, say, 5, that should decrease it. So that's between the text and between the button end, okay? So maybe if we want to change the button, maybe make this 10. So that could look okay. Maybe we'll make it 12. Oops. Make it 12. I think that looks okay. That looks almost similar to this. 14, 14, okay? And that looks about right. So let's go ahead and click done. Let's save our work. And so far, so good. Okay, that looks pretty clean, almost like this. So let's go ahead and select an image now for this background. So we can head over to a few different sites. We can head over to Pexels, I think. Let's head over to pexels.com right over here, and let's head over to Pixabay. Oops, and then click, and let's find some images. Okay, so in this case, we're looking for something like this. So these are free image platforms. I suggest getting free images. Oops, did I not type space? There you go. Let's try that. We'll try typing in Google Ads. If we don't see anything, that's fine. So this looks okay. All right, so let's go ahead and grab this. We'll download it, free download, but any image is fine. Like these are probably okay. These are just for illustration. So we're gonna select this again. Let's head over to main options. Might be, let's see, where is this? Background style. So here, so we need a background style. So we need to add an image. So we're gonna click image here. We're gonna choose an image. We're gonna upload a file. Let's head back over here. And this is that image that we uploaded. We're gonna select it, select the image, insert into post, and now this image is here. And the cool thing is that we can drag and drop this image however we want to. Now let's suppose I want the Google word to be at the top there. I will leave it at this. Now it looks good. The only issue is, and we'll click apply, the only issue is that this is, it makes the text hard to see. So what we can do is we could add a color to it as well and add a little transparent effect to it. So we can add a layer. We can add a solid color layer. Let's add a white layer. We'll click on apply. And now both of these guys are in effect. Now if you can drag and drop them. So this pixels is now over the color, or you can make the color on top of the image, okay? So that's pretty cool. I like that. Now let's see if we can increase the opacity right here so we can make it even more, right? So if you make it white, then it's gonna be, complete white over it. So we don't wanna do that. But we'll do something like this. That looks good. Let's hit apply, and I think we're in pretty good position, okay? So we've created something that looks like this. That looks good. Let's move on to this next part. So let's add these little text descriptions there. So we're gonna add text here. Let's add text inside the block. And we're gonna copy this, head back over here, and we're gonna paste it. We're gonna remove that extra line. And now we want to squish it a little bit, right? So we're gonna center this. We're gonna head over to layout and position. Let's reduce the width here. We're gonna reduce the width, make it look just like this. So there are 3 layers here, so we can do that. 3, that looks about right. We could push it more to the right by adjusting the margins here, so that's fine. We can adjust the height. We don't want to center it here. We want to left align it, or we can just remove alignment entirely. That's fine. But that looks about right. Let me see if maybe we want to make this text a little bigger. So we're going to head over to main options. Let's maybe make it 22. Nope. Well, we could make it 22 and then just increase the size of that, I think. So let's head back into layout and position. Maybe make it 200. Oh no, we don't want to make it smaller. Sorry, we want to make it bigger. So 300. So that looks pretty much good. Okay. One more thing is the color. So let's head over to main options and let's change this color. So we're gonna unlock it. Select black. Click apply. And that looks pretty good. I like that. So let's add this little part here. What you learned. So we're gonna again select element. We're going to drag the text and we're going to drag it to the right of this, okay, because we want to write it right there. And then again, we can adjust, how much space we want. Maybe like this is okay. Let's copy this. Let's go back here. Oops. And let's paste it. We'll remove that. So we have this. Let's center that. I don't think we have to do too much over here. I think that looks pretty good. Maybe we can increase the size of the text here. And let's make this black because I don't like it being gray. And now let's add these 3 points here. So let's see if we can copy it and let's see if the bullet points carry through. They might not, but let's drag an element. Let's drag the text down here. And let's see if the bullet points will carry through. Yep, they did. If they don't, then it's quite simple. You just select bullets right here. Okay, very simple, bullets or numbers right here. So super simple. But that looks pretty good to me. I like that. Again, we can do the same thing if we want to remove or change the width a bit. We want to kind of center it a little bit more. We can reduce that. We can center it. And reduce the width. So we can keep going, right? We don't want to make it too tight. So maybe 518 is okay. So that looks okay to me. The only thing is this isn't centered. So what we can do is let's select that. And let's increase the margins a little bit. So if we make it maybe 100, too much, 50, maybe that's about right. Maybe 35. Okay, I like that. A bit too much space, I think, here. So let's head over here and let's remove this. Maybe let's make that 30. We'll make that 30. Okay, so just to reduce the space there. There's even less space. It feels like these are smaller, right? So maybe let's make this a little bit smaller. Head back over here. 16. Okay, so I'm just trying to create as close to this as possible so you guys have an idea. Let's go into layout and position. Let's left align it just like it is here. Okay, looks about right. Actually, I don't like it left aligned. Let's center align it. So what you could do is if you want, right, to like play around with it, you just select that and then you change the width here, or you change this here on the right hand side so we can make it, from the right, say 25, and then boom, it moves, right? There's that space between this element and this one. There's 25. You can do 50, and now it does that. I like how it looks so far. So I think so far so good. Let's do a few more things. Let's add another column here. So I'm just gonna duplicate it, or you can, add another block. Like I said, I wasn't able to find an empty block, so you have to just delete everything, so it doesn't matter. So we can just might as well duplicate this one. And then let's add this 4.5 rating stuff. So let's delete all this. Can delete that, and now this whole thing is in the middle. So let's go ahead and take this. We're gonna copy it. Come back here. Let's delete all that actually. Okay, so now text. We have plain text. Let's add that. So we want to bold it. We want to center it. Okay, and in this case, I think it's still stuck with the, so let's delete that because it was still stuck with the 2 columns. So let's just create it again. So we're gonna again drag the text here. Now is fine. Now if we center it, it should be fine. So let's go ahead and center that. Let's bold it. Let's increase the size here of this. Maybe 26. By the way, this color is a little bit grayish, so let's head over to this one, and just so we can see the difference, we're going to go to background style. So far there's no style, but we can select the color here, so maybe grayish, and we can reduce the opacity here. So maybe something like this should be okay. I think that looks close enough, right? Now let's go ahead and copy this image. Again, we'll save image as. I don't know if we'll be able to copy it. Let's see if we can. It's an SVG image. I have no idea what that is. But I'm just copying these images from that other site that we created just to keep things simple, to make things go faster so we don't have to search for an image. Let's see if I can upload this. I don't know if I can. No, it doesn't look like I can. Okay, so we're going to have to type in like 4 stars or something. Let's see if we can come up with something. Okay, so let's head over to Pexels, 4 star. Okay, 4 stars review maybe. Okay, all right. So let's head over to just let's head over to Google, and let's see if we can type in 4.5 star review, and let's just pull up an image from here. Now you want to make sure the image is free. Okay, so sometimes it's not, and you know, if they catch you, you have to pay for it. So what I like to do is go to settings, go to advanced search. Scroll to the bottom, and by usage rights, you know, free to use or share even commercially, just to be safe. If you're not doing any edits, if you are editing, make sure to select the other option. I don't want to do any kind of thorough research here, so what I'm going to do is clear and just take, you know, one of these images here. So I'm going to go ahead and save image as. We're going to save it here again. Let's head back here and let's upload this file now. 4.5 stars. This is a PNG image, so it's going to be transparent, which is good. I hope so. I hope it's transparent. Okay, so we're going to select that. Yeah, so that looks good. Now it is too big, so let's reduce the size a bit here. Maybe like this is okay. Right, looks good. And let's, we have to center it here, so let's find where we can center it. So we're gonna main options here. So that's the height. We don't want to adjust that. Let's quickly save our work. So layout and position here, we're going to select center, and then we're going to drag it up a little bit. So we're going to remove that margin at the top. Okay, so now, but there is a lot of space here. So, and then, yeah, so it does have the white background, but that's okay. Now we can't remove any more padding here. Yeah, so this doesn't go anymore, so we can't do anything here. This one, we can reduce that here. Now, like I said, you know, be wary when you do these, when you change these margins and padding, because for mobile responsive purposes, it might not look that great, but we're going to get into that in the next video, and I will show you ways to get around that. So that looks pretty good. Okay, so we got that done. Let's add this stuff here. So we're going to copy this, and let's just copy it right below. So we're going to add another element. It's going to be text again. We're going to drag it below the image right here. We're going to paste it here. And that looks about right, but let's select it. Let's center it. Let's reduce the width a little bit. Okay. Now it should be centered. So we're going to center it once again. That looks about right. Maybe increase the margins here a little bit, so we see some extra space there, right? And let's see if there's anything else we want to do. So maybe decrease the height a little bit more. Like, what does this look like? An audience list, yeah. So that looks about right. So I think 600 is good. So that looks pretty good to me, right? Now this looks really centered. This not so much. So maybe let's move this a little bit more to the center as well. So we're just going to deselect that, and let's increase this. Maybe, oops, not 130, although that could work. Maybe 100. So that looks a little bit more centered, because right now it seems like a little bit off to the side, right? Because this might be, I think, a bit uneven. Yeah, so that's why, because this isn't 50-50. So that looks actually much better to me. And now we can select this and we can maybe center it. So now that looks pretty centered. Okay, so that looks good. I'm trying to see if we're missing anything, but so far so good. We're on the right track. Let's save our work. Let's close out of that. Let's add a little button here as well. So what we're gonna do, again, select element, add a button, and add another call to action button here. Now we want to add that same color. So let's go ahead and select this button here. Let's copy that color. Let's cancel that. And let's go back here and let's add the color here. Nope, we have to select the button, not the text. Okay, so make sure you select the button. We're gonna unlock that. We're gonna delete all this and we're gonna paste our new color here. We're gonna click on apply and that looks good. Now we wanna add, if you wanna add the full button, it's gonna be here, right, for the full width. Now I don't know if we want that, but we could make it a little bit bigger by adding the text. That's fine. We can, however, increase the width this way as well. So I think that looks good. Okay, and we can add the link here as well. So we can add the URL. So https www.evonmana.com. That looks good. Now we can add an icon on the right hand side. So to change the icon, you just click on the actual icon there and you can change the style, making it circular or whatnot, and you can change the icon right here. Okay, so in our case, it's, what does it say? It says email me the video. So maybe let's see if we can find like an email icon. So maybe something like this. Okay, so we can do that. Let's change the text. Let's say email me the video. Yep, so it's lowercase. That is fine. That looks good to me. Now we can select the button and we can add borders and corners to make it look similar to that as well. So we can, let me see if we can increase it like that. So we can, you can just click and drag, okay? And like what I'm doing here, it's dragging and it's, so that's 21. Close enough, I think. We can, we can keep going, but I'll leave it at that. So let's go ahead and save our work. And so far so good, I think. So far it looks pretty good. Let's reduce the margins here a little bit. So here we have 20. So let's maybe make it 10, maybe even 0. Okay, so that looks close enough to this as is. Let's add these two things and we should be done. So again, we can add another block by just clicking that. I don't like the fact that they don't have an empty one, but we can delete everything here. Delete that, and let's duplicate this and add the one more, right, for the footer stuff. But let's add all this stuff, so I'm gonna quickly copy it. We're gonna add this text here right inside. I'm gonna Control V on my Windows to paste it really quickly. Why this video? Let's reduce the width and let's center it here and then center it along the entire element as well. So the width, yeah, so that's fine. We can leave it at that as long as it's centered actually. Let's increase the size, maybe 26. Is that too big? Maybe 22. Okay, looks good enough. I like that. So let's add now, we have to add the three, right? The images and then the text. So we're gonna drag this image right here, okay? And let's save these three. Let's just save image as. Let's see if we can. Yeah, we can in this case. Awesome. Because these are images we got from Unbounce. Yeah, this one we can't. It says some CFG file. Let's see if I can save it as like a PNG. Let's see if that'll work. Like a PNG or even a JPG. Let's try that and we'll see if that works. Might not, but we'll try it anyway. That one saves as PNG. So now we can go ahead and we can upload these files that we just saved. So these three, I'm going to select all three of them. I'm going to open all three of them. Might be one of them, might be this one. Yeah, so that one didn't work, security reasons. So that's okay. We can just leave it at blank, but let's select this one here. We'll insert it into post. Okay. Now we will be adding more. So what we can do is we can just duplicate it. We can go ahead here and then drag it to the right of that. And then we can duplicate this one and add this one to the right of this one. And so now we have three like that, but we do want to center it. So we're going to select that. And we're gonna, where's the center layout option here? We're gonna center, select this, we're gonna center, select this, we're gonna center. Yeah, so that little heart they didn't let us do that. So we can find, let's find a little heart here. Maybe heart icon or something. Okay, that's fine. Let's just go here and type in heart icon just for illustration purposes. Wikipedia, I believe, is completely free. So we're going to save image as. Let's go into here, and now we can select the image here, right? Let's go into main options. We're going to replace image, and we're going to upload that little heart right here, and we're going to add that heart to it instead. So now we're going to select the heart, add it here. That looks good. Let's go here. Let's replace this with the bar, and we'll do that. Okay, and that looks pretty good. We can increase the size as well right over here, right? Pixels, so we'll make it 50, for instance. I don't know if we want to make it that big. Over here, it's not super big. And over here in Unbounce, we set our width a little bit lower than here, okay? But you'll see what it's going to look like at the end. By the way, let's make that gray as well. So we're going to select this color. Let's go into background style. Let's copy this color. So we're going to select all this. We're going to copy it. Remember, opacity is 28, okay? So come back here, and let's paste it here. And opacity 28, perfect, it got there. So that's good. So now let's add some text here. So we're gonna add text below this. So I mean, this is pretty straightforward. Like everything we've been doing is really image and text, but if you wanna add any of these sections like logo as we did, click to tweet, countdown timer, you can add all of these as well. You just drag and drop them. It's pretty simple. Numbered list is basically like the same one as you see here, just I believe you can change some icons. So stuff like that, pretty straightforward, but you won't need to do much. So we're going to center this, and let's go ahead and duplicate it. We're going to drag it right underneath here below. Let's duplicate this one, and we're going to drag it right here. Okay, so that looks pretty good. I'm not seeing any issues there. Let's actually copy this, come back here, paste it here. Let's remove that. And again, we want to center it. I guess it uncentered. So now we have more space on the side to do this. But if we didn't, we select, what do we select? Layout and position. And then we can reduce the width like that. We make it, in this case, it's like that. We make it 60. Then we center it. And then we do the same thing here. So we're going to select all that. Let's copy it. Let's come back here. Let's paste it. Let's make this 60 as well. And then let's go back and copy this one. Let's paste it here. Let's delete that. And let's make this all 60. And we're going to center that. And we also want to align it like that. Then we're going to do the same thing here. We're going to set this to 60. We're going to center it. And then we're going to center the text. And that looks pretty good. So let's do the one more thing, which is adding the copyright, all this text. So we can just simply copy this. We can add, scroll back to the top, add the text here, and we can paste it. And we can remove that. We can again center this, center that, and let's remove the spacing here. So we have too much space. So maybe let's make it 20, even maybe 10, maybe even less here. Okay, so that looks about right. Let's see if we can, yeah, so we can't really adjust any more height. Let's go here. Yeah, so that's as little as it goes. We can reduce the margins here, but it only goes to 0 because that's the end really of it. Let's see if we can just play around with this. Yeah, so that goes to 0, yeah. So it has to be like this, which is fine, but our site is pretty much done. Like that's it. If we go back here, maybe let's just add a little bit more space here and a little bit less space there. So we can select this, maybe make this 40, maybe select that and make this 60, 80. But that is about it, okay? And decorations, yeah. So let's go ahead and save this. And let's see what this is going to look like so we can preview the page. And this is what it looks like. So I like the way it looks. Looks pretty similar to this one here, which we did in Unbounce. And if you click on this, right, you're going to go to our page. Now I'm not going to click on it. One more thing we should probably do is over here where we take people here, we should probably take them to a new tab. Sorry, so right over here, we're going to select this. Yeah, and then so for this one, we can't change it because this is part of a form. So you can't open a new tab because when someone enters their email, that tab should go to the next page, okay? But we can change this one. So let's again save our work. Let's remove that. Let's preview this now. So let's delete that one. And that's what it's going to look like. So if we click here, we will be taken to a new tab. And that's pretty much it. Now we probably do want to change this, how it says auto draft my blog at the top, and maybe we want to make this our home page. So let me quickly show you how to do that. So let's head over here and click Save and Return to Post Editor. And then what we're going to do here is just make this our home page. Okay. So a few things we're going to do. Let's head over here. So I don't know which one we did actually. Let's see which one it is. I believe it's this one. And then why is this? Why are there two of them? Okay, so that was, I don't know what, but we're going to select it. We're going to trash that one. Now for this one, let's rename it. So not auto draft, let's say, landing page, for example, right? And then we can say here, our slug is opt-in. We can click update. And then notice how this is the front page, right? So first of all, by the way, we didn't publish this, I don't think. So let's click on edit again because it's still as a draft. So we still have to publish it. So we're going to hit publish. And now that is the URL. So if you view page, right, there it is, opt-in. So that's good. But let's suppose we will also want to make this our home page. So let's head over here. We're going to click on appearance, click on customize. And home page settings, we're going to click here. Let's select our landing page here. We'll click publish. And that is pretty much it. Okay, it's published. So if we go back to our pages, we will see that our landing page is now the front page. So if someone goes to, we click on view, if someone goes to thisYouTubeTutorial.com, they don't have to enter the opt-in now, they will land on this page. They can still enter opt-in, but because this is the home page, they don't have to. So people are going to land here and they're going to fill in their details and maybe go to the next page and all that stuff. But that's how you create a landing page with Thrive Themes. Let me know in the comments if you want a video on a specific topic with Thrive Themes, like email integration, which I'm going to do, adding a favicon, mobile optimization, split testing, all that good stuff. Let me know. Hopefully this was helpful for you. If you haven't yet, check out my website, ivanmana.com. I'm giving away a free PDF guide to help you get started with affiliate marketing, showing you everything you have to know and how to get started today. All right. That being said, thanks for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video.